part 2 of creating the rocker arm after the page setup is starting with the circles. The first circle we want is a center radius, our standard center radius. So you come to circle, center radius, and it wants it at the origin, so you know it's going to be 0, 0. And it's got a radius over here, if you look, at 50. So 50. You're going to create 2 more circles, one at 70, 40, and one at negative 50, negative 60, both with a radius of 25. So what you do is you hit spacebar, which means repeat the last command, and then you type in 70, 40, enter, and you do 25 radius. And then you hit spacebar, and you do negative 50, negative 60, and think, if this is the origin right here, then it's going to go negative 50 and down negative 60. Hit enter, and again 25. And so you should have your 3 circles just like it is in the drawing right here. Next thing you want to do is your snap toolbar. This is going to be one of your favorite tools you ever use. The way you get your snap toolbar up is you're going to click on Tools on your menu bar, go down to Toolbars, select AutoCAD. These are in alphabetical order. You see A, B, C, D. You're going to go down to Object Snapped. Click it, and you'll see this toolbar. Now, typically it gets in the way, so I like to drag it up here until it snaps like that, and when I let go, it stays in this part of the screen for the whole time. This Object Snap toolbar, what it does is it allows you to do object snaps. So I've turned off most of my object snaps here except for extension. What this does is it allows you to pick an object snap for 1 turn. Only 1 turn. So we'll show an example. So right now it wants us to use the line command. So we're going to go to line right here. And it wants us to create a line between the tangent here and a tangent here. Now you notice no snaps are coming up. You can choose from the object snap bar, and you'll see all of a sudden that symbol for tangent appears. You click it. Now you notice it doesn't show on the next circle. That's because it's only good for 1 turn. So then you come back again, select tangent, there's that symbol, click, and you hit right button, cancel, and you've got a line between this circle and this circle from tangent to tangent. And that's exactly what it wants you to do. Now, also, you remember we came up here and hit line. You can also type in line, and we're going to go from a tangent from this one to this one. So I'm going to select tangent, click, tangent, and click on the other circle. And then you remember to end what you're doing, you hit escape. It was a single button press that will end what you're doing. So I hit escape. Now I've got my shape just like this. Next thing is circles, TTR circles. They're called tangent, tangent, radius circles. In chapter 1, all you did was circle radius and circle diameter. Well, now you're going to go to tan radius circle. And what that will do is create a circle between 2 circles using the points of tangent and a radius. So on this, they want us from this circle to this circle with a radius of 50. So I'm going to click on this circle at the bottom, click on this circle to the right of the circle, and then hit 50 and enter, and it should create a circle right between these 2. This next one is a radius of 40, but it's pretty much the same thing from this circle to this circle. So I'm going to select tan radius. Now you notice I didn't have to do object snaps here because by the very nature of selecting tan radius, it's going to want a tangent. So I'm going to select at the bottom of the big circle and to the right of the little circle, and then put in a radius of 40, hit enter, and I've got my drawing. It looks just like the illustration on the book. The last command you're going to learn about is trim. So on the Home tab, on the ribbon, the Modify panel, you'll see Move and Copy and Stretch. But right up here is a command called Trim. And the way this works is you select Trim, and when you come down here it says Select Objects or Select All. So you're going to select objects. We want to trim this piece right here along this circle. So if you look, this circle, the piece we're going to trim goes between this line, so I select it, and this circle, so I select it. And of course you select the thing you want to actually trim. So I selected all three of these pieces. Once you select the three pieces, you hit enter, and then you select the part that you want to trim. So as you notice, as my mouse goes over the piece I want to trim, it'll disappear. That's the part I want to trim, so I click it. And so you notice it trimmed between this line and this circle. Hit escape, ended that part, and then I want to trim this part of the circle all the way around till it touches this circle and where it touches this arc. So I would need to select, and so this time I'm going to do it a little different. Instead of selecting trim, select the parts, hit enter, I'm going to select the parts before I hit trim. So I've selected the big circle, the arc, and the piece I want to trim, which is that larger circle down there. Then I come up and hit trim, and now all I have to do is select the piece that I want to trim off, and which is this piece right here. I select it, it trimmed it. Now here and here and here, I want to trim this piece off. So I'm going to select trim and hit. We are almost done with the outline shape. All right, so for the rest of this, you remember this way blue and this way green. We are going to select green, all this area, hit trim, and I'm going to trim up the rest of this drawing. After I do that, and I close the book, after I trim it up, you'll see the shape here is the same as the illustration. We are now going to learn how to make a polygon. We're going to make a six-sided polygon. If you think about it, what's a six-sided polygon? Hexagon. And the way we do that is in the Home tab under the Draw panel, you'll see a rectangle here. Right next to the rectangle is a pull-down menu. You pull that down and you see Polygon. You select Polygon and it is going to show you or ask you for the number of sides. We are going to select 6. It wants to do this hexagon right at the origin, so we're going to select 0, 0, hit enter. For right now, all you have to know is that you need to do a circumscribed circle with a radius of 30. And you will have your six-sided polygon right in the middle of that outline shape. Next thing you know, they want to do a four-sided polygon, which you know, if it's an equilateral polygon, it's a square. So we're going to select 4. It wants us to snap it right in the middle of this arc, so we're going to select center, come over and select that, and then say circumscribed, and then you're going to, it's going to ask you to turn on your snap mode. And you notice now with the snap mode on, you can only select your cursor on one of those dots. As we zoom in, it's asking for us to just go one dot from, so we're going to go one dot to the left and select, and your square will appear there. Last thing on this drawing is the concentric circle. So we're going to create a concentric circle by choosing radius, center radius. We're going to select, we're going to turn off snap grid. We're going to select snap to the center. We're going to snap to the center of this one. It wants a radius of 10. We're going to select 10. And we are now done with the rocker arm. Last thing to do is to save it, and going to save it rocker arm design, first and last name. Yes, I want to replace it, and it is now saved. Turn it in and get 100.